Damage control.
Welcome back to Damage Control, guys. This week we have a really quick video for all you beginners out there or you instructors that are working with beginners. I think you're going to like this. It's kind of a fun little way to help train the basic boxing stance. One of the biggest things I see with beginners is when they're working on their boxing stance, they'll get their hands up, they'll get their feet shoulder width apart, their chin is down, but their posture is upright. So they end up with all the right elements, and yet something's not right. If you look at my profile here, I've almost got this straight up and down profile. And really what we want to do is we want to encourage them to put their chin down and their forehead forward. A lot of times you'll hear instructors talk about looking up through your eyebrows or looking up from underneath your eyebrows. And you want to be facing your partner like this, okay, as opposed to like this. So one of the reasons for that, for being so particular about that profile is if Coach Kaiser here gets into that boxing stance and he's actually more of that upright posture right here, what it does is it presents more of this flat, the flat surface of his face. And what ends up happening is, as that punch, if and when that punch makes it through the guard, boom, it catches it right in the face, and you can see the way he recoils. And I just kind of just pushed his face. I mean, I didn't even punch him, but you could see how it snaps that head back. And that has two things it does. Number one, it hurts more, right? Number two is I want you to try to hit me back as soon as I finish my strike. So I'm right here and I go boom. Because it knocks him backwards and takes him out of his crouch, takes him out of that strong stance, it takes him that much longer for him to recover and come back. And by that time, I'm usually done. Okay? Now, contrast that with if he's in this more aggressive profile with this little bit of a 45-degree angle going down this way. Now, the thing that's presented first and foremost to me is this dome-shaped part of his head, which has a lot less surface area. Number one, with sweat, what ends up happening, go ahead and kind of just micro slip it here, is, you know, as I make contact, I mean, right there, I actually popped him kind of solid, and what you saw is him kind of, you know, bump a little bit, but it didn't make him lean back. So let's go back to that again, micro slips here. So with that little bit of a dome shape, he's able to deflect those punches off of his head and stay in position. Now, if things go perfect and he gets that deflection, go ahead and return fire. Boom, he's right there again. And I'm eating punches. Okay, now this time, let's say, chin down, grit your teeth. This time I get him a little bit solid. Go ahead and return as soon as I hit you. This time I'm going to get a little bit more square shot. And he's still able to, you know, come back relatively quickly. I wouldn't even venture to hit him at as hard as I just did with his face straight up. There's no purpose in it. It would hurt him, and he wouldn't be able to do any of what you just saw a moment ago. Now, when it comes to training new students, there's something to be said about making sure that they're self-disciplined, meaning they should be able to recognize good form in others as well as in themselves and realize, oh, my chin's up a little bit. I need to get my chin down and work on that basic stance. And that's something that you should be able to work on, or your students should be able to work on their own without being told. And every once in a while, we all need reminders, and if you give it to them, they should be able to, again, make that self-diagnosis and discipline themselves to do it properly. Every so often, though, you're going to run into a student, and that's actually where I came up with this idea. I had a student who I would tell her repeatedly, chin down, chin down, chin down, look up through your eyebrows, chin down. And she would go, oh yeah, that's right, and she would do it, and then 2 minutes later I look back and she's doing this again. And you know, the next day what happened, and it got to a point where every minute I was spending reminding her to do something that she should have known how to do on her own, I was taking away from other students who are well beyond that point at that point and ready to move on to the next project. So I was thinking about ways to help her achieve that on her own, and we came up with this idea. And so what we did is we went and bought a pair of super cheap sunglasses. I'm sure everybody's got a pair of these laying around. They're broken, cracked, scratched, whatever. And I just took a second and spray painted them with a primer, and then put some flat black spray paint on there. And if you look, can you see that, cameraman? Mm-hmm. that you can't, there's no way to see through them. I mean, you could probably just take a Sharpie pen and scribble it in or experiment with your own thing. But what I did is we got these and we put them on. I put them on, and there's a key to putting them just right on the bridge of the nose there, so that if he's trying to put his head up, he won't be able to see, or she would not be able to see. And do you need to adjust those at all? Or?
No, as soon as my chin comes up, you completely disappear.
So you want to now, yeah. And in fact, right here, I would even probably adjust these a little bit more. Is that too much, or
that's perfect?
Perfect. So we just put them on her like that, and then go ahead and shadow box. And we just make them shadow box with that pair of sunglasses on, and it helps them create that muscle memory of keeping the chin down, looking up over the rim of those glasses, because as soon as they start popping that chin up, they start losing that their vision, and it just brings them right back down. It's something that we can do, and I let her go off onto her side and work on her own thing, and I have my time to work on other students with other issues, and that's our training tip. Total cost of this is probably, especially if you got an old pair of glasses laying around, probably $5. Okay, I got the spray paint for like 99 cents at the dollar store. Cheap, easy way for you guys to train. Yeah, is it a gimmick? Absolutely. But you know what? It's a gimmick that saved me countless minutes with her and other students, countless minutes now allowing me to work with them. One other thing now, when you take these off, and you shouldn't be wearing these when you're timing sparring or whatever. If you're ever timing sparring, you're in the middle of a combination, then you end up doing one of these, that's just your partner reminding you your face is too high, you need to put your chin down, because you should never be bumped up and out of your stance, out of your crouch. That's this week's tip from Damage Control. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like us, share us, and we'll see you again for more DamageControlMMA.com.